Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us in our third mission of the Universal 7-Day Candle Project's lighting ceremony to help stop domestic violence on every level. If you've been following our Facebook page, which you can find by just typing Universal 7-Day Candle Projects in the Facebook search engine, you will know that we are a group of witches and pagans that are trying to make a difference in the world, and we would love to have you join us. So please, by all means, visit our page. Please like our page and come back and join with us in these missions, because as pagans, we really can make a difference. And as always, before we begin, I'm Goddess Rhonda. Forgive me for not even introducing myself. And of course, we have with us the beautiful Goddess Star.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for that compliment. And don't forget, Goddess Rhonda is absolutely gorgeous herself. Marry me to everyone.
Thank you. As always, before we begin, we like to cast a circle of protection around us. All hail, our lords and ladies of the East, my brothers and sisters, my brother and patron, the sacred element of air, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee, my lords and ladies. I charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is.
All hail, our lords and ladies of the South, my brothers and sisters, my brother and patron, the sacred element of fire. Namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. I charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your directions, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is.
So it is. All hail, our lords and ladies of the West, my brothers and sisters, my sister and patron, the sacred element of water. Namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee, my lords and ladies. I charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is.
All hail, our lords and ladies of the North, my brothers and sisters, my sister and patron, the sacred element of North. And Namaste, divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. I charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you. So it is.
So it is. And we now bring down the divine white light from the sacred source of all well-being and fill our spaces with peace and protection always. So it is.
So it is.
So once again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for taking a stand and believing in taking action to make a difference in the world. We so appreciate that. No matter what your belief is, I truly do believe that if we combine our energies and our prayers and our spell work, however you term your manifestation modality, I know that we can make a difference and combat these issues that are hurting us so badly. And of course, to thank you for your help and courage in taking a stand, we will offer blessing to those who want it at the end of the ceremony. So as you know, this is week 3 of our third mission, which is about stopping domestic violence in all of its aspects. And as always, we like to do Saturdays because this is an extremely powerful day and time to do the ceremony. We're in the day of Saturn, of protection, of purification, and restriction of those things that are adverse to us. And we are beginning in the hour of Mars, the planet of war and protection, and flowing into the hour of the sun for justice, strength, healing, and illumination, and to provide these benefits to the victims of domestic violence. Over the next 7 weeks, we have 7 weeks left, we will layer each ceremony with intentions to stop domestic violence on all levels. This week, we are addressing the second tier of the wheel of violence, which, if you visit our group, we have that, or you can just Google the wheel of violence. It should just pop right up. And the second section of the wheel deals with how abusers will systematically diminish their victims' self esteem to establish more control over them. And they will do this by putting their victims down, telling them they're ugly or stupid, and no matter how hard the victim tries to please the abuser, it's never enough. They'll just find a reason that there's something wrong with whatever it is that they've done. They will also humiliate their victims in public to further chip away at the victim's perception of themselves. It's a gradual process, but this process is as deadly as a knife in the heart because a person's will is tied to their self-esteem. People who feel deserving of a happy and fulfilling life will march towards their goals because they feel it's their right. So they'll work harder towards them to grasp when they try not to let anybody get in the way of that. The people who have been successfully brainwashed into having low self-esteem don't feel deserving of the good things in life. Instead, they can actually begin believing that they deserve the abuse that they are getting. You know, like if they worked harder, this would not have happened. They can even begin to believe that their abuser is good to them just for letting them live under their roof because they feel so badly about themselves, like no one would want them, no one else would want them. And to that, we add the abuser trying to make the victim think that they're crazy. They call it gaslighting because of a very old movie, you can probably find it on Netflix, called Gaslight. And in that movie, the husband of a very wealthy woman was doing everything he could to make her think that she was crazy with the hopes of having her committed so he could get his hands on her money. It's a really good movie if you can get it on Netflix or find it somewhere, but it tells you exactly what gaslighting means. It's a slow chipping away to make you think that you're crazy.
Mm.
And the abuser will do this by pretending a conversation didn't happen, or they said something entirely different than what you remembered or what the victim remembered them saying. They may deny something that they did and tell the victim they must have imagined the whole thing. They'll deny the abuse and convince the victim it was their fault for not doing what the abuser wanted or how they wanted whatever task that they needed done. And then finally, we add the next layer, which is guilt. And feeling guilty because you didn't do enough, which you've done more than enough, but guilt is another way to further diminish your self-esteem. And I want you to think how challenged the lives of these victims are. Keep in mind, we are only up to section 2 of 8 on the wheel. They are so unaware of their strength and perseverance, these victims. They survive horrors many would not. They are not weak. They are warrior spirits that are being held as prisoners of war, tortured and brainwashed, but still they hang on, or at least they try to. And I bow to their strength. Because a lot of people are like, oh, you know, they let their partner beat them up or whatever, they must be weak. These people are much stronger than any of us are. They just have been brainwashed to the point where they just can't see their way clearly anymore. And it's just their self-esteem has been so trampled, and all that's left is fear of not pleasing the abuser. They literally are, in my opinion, prisoners of war. So we counter the insults with praise for your awesome strength and perseverance. And we counter your low self-esteem with the self-respect you deserve for being so strong and for your determination to survive. And we counter the damages of mental and emotional abuse with clarity, stability, and the ability to find safe escape for the victims of domestic violence.
Wow. There's so many things.
I know, it's amazing.
Putting her down, making her feel bad about herself, calling her names, making her think she's crazy, playing mind games, humiliating her, and making her feel guilty. There's so many statements that have been made or said over the time. Like, after I had my baby, I wasn't able to lose the 5 pounds, the last 5 pounds. Now he's always telling me how fat I am and how he didn't marry a fat cow. Wow, amazing. My boyfriend calls me pizza face or a whale. I feel like I'm crazy. I mean, I know he's hurting me, but he tells me how much he loves me all the time. Definitely what brainwashing is all about. And
Absolutely.
none of these statements, none of them are acceptable on any level. None of that behavior, it's not considered a loving relationship. And whether you realize it or accept it as such, that is also a form of abuse, which a lot of these victims do not see as part of the abuse, because most of them actually believe the abuse is only the physical side. They're not seeing all that they're chipping away slowly at them. I did not hear about that movie Gaslight, or know that's what it was called. That's amazing. I'm gonna have to look that up. Instead of being supportive, they're being criticized and being demeaned. These are not considered acceptable nor normal relationship behavior in any means. So let's begin our ritual and spells to help with lending you our ideas and thoughts to possibly help you with emotional abuse by beginning with our opening prayer.
Earth, I invoke and evoke, request and accept all of your wonderful, positive, powerful properties, gifts, blessings, and protections. And I ask that you empower us all with your abilities of creation and manifestation as we create this ceremony to end domestic violence and manifest freedom and safety for the victims. I also send this energy to be conveyed to the participants who want it, as well as their candle and other tools they may be using. So mote it be.
So noted be. Air, I invoke and evoke, request and accept all of your wonderful positive properties, gifts, blessings, and protections. And I ask that you empower us with your ability to smoothly flow over, under, around, or through any obstacles, and carry your energies of freedom and safety to the victims against domestic violence and manifest freedom and safety for them. I also send this energy to be conveyed to the participants who want it, as well as their candle and other tools they may be using. So mote it be.
So mote it be. Fire. I invoke and evoke, request and accept all of your wonderful, positive, powerful properties, gifts, blessings, and protections. And I ask that you empower us with strength and protection, as well as your ability to burn away any and all blockages to the freedom of the victims of domestic violence and manifest freedom and safety for them all. And I also send this energy to be conveyed to the participants who want it, as well as their candle and other tools they may be using. So mote it be.
So mote it be. Water, I invoke and evoke, request and accept all of your wonderful, positive gifts, blessings, and protection. And I ask that you empower us with your ability to cleanse and wash away all that we are fighting back against with domestic violence, to cleanse and heal the victims and manifest their freedom and safety. I also send this energy to be conveyed to the participants who want it, as well as their candle and other tools they may be using. So mote it be.
So mote it be. Okay, so now we're going to tell you about the candles that we have prepared. I prepared mine in advance for the um, because of our time constraints, but I'm going to explain everything to you, so don't worry about it. All right, so what you're going to need for this particular spell candle, and this portion, this spell is representing the second portion of the Wheel of Violence for mental and emotional abuse. So I'm going to be calling upon our Divine Mother and our Divine Father to grant the benefit of divine balanced energy. Because when we're up and down and going backward, or in this emotional roller coaster and mental roller coaster, what we really need is just to come to center and balance ourselves out. So by balancing our divine feminine, our divine masculine, because we are both, the light and the dark, the male and the female, the yin and the yang. Balancing that out will help us to retain emotional stability. We're also going to be calling upon our brother Mercury, because Mercury represents the mental realm and thinking clearly, coming up with intelligence and wisdom. So we're going to call upon him to help us with clear thinking and to illuminate ways for the victims to resolve this issue and get out from under their situations. We're also going to be calling upon the element of water. You can see I'm wearing very watery clothes today to help convey that energy. You know, you can wear the color of the intention that you're trying to do to help add energy to it. And the reason we're calling on the element of water is because water represents the realm of emotions. And so for a balanced and healthy emotional being, we're going to ask the element of water to help us out. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a white candle, and the white candle will represent the moon and the divine feminine. And you're also going to need some watercolors. I got these little watercolor containers. I got 4 for $1 at the Dollar Tree. And you'll have to mix up the colors that, you know, if you want it, like there's teal in here, you'll mix blue and green, but we'll go over that. And I like to use the watercolors, A, because they have the element of water, and I'm a water girl, but also because they're not flammable. So you don't have to worry, like if your candle gets too hot on the glass, it's not going to explode or crack the candle or anything, because they're non-flammable. So that's one of the reasons why I chose them. So you're going to need your white candle. You're going to need orange watercolor and gold glitter, which is going to represent the sun and the divine masculine. We've got yellow watercolor to represent Mercury. And I had to mix the teal. I don't have like the container because I already threw it away, but I just mixed the blue and the green together to get the teal that I used to represent the water, which we'll talk about also in a minute. And you're going to need some paint brushes and a paint palette or a plate or a saucer, something that you can mix your colors in. Because even with the orange color that I used, I had to mix yellow and red together to get the orange. So you'll need that as well. You'll need your paint brushes. I believe I said that. And of course, you'll need your offering to make. I always, if you've been watching, you know, I like to use rice. Rice is a universal offering, but if you have something else that you would rather use, you know, for your offering, by all means, go with what you want to do, because everything needs to be custom to you. So if you like to offer fruit or flowers or anything that you want to offer, by all means, you use what you want to use for your stuff. We're just trying to give you, if you don't know what to do, we're just giving you kind of a guide that you can just use, do what we do. But if you have your own modality, by all means, please go ahead and stick to that, because it will mean much more if it's coming from the sincerity of what you believe. All right, so first thing we always do is we turn our paintbrushes into a wand. So you can do that just by holding your paintbrush in your hand and say, I charge thee to become a wand for me and convey my intention-filled energies into this candle to provide emotional and mental stability to victims of domestic violence. So it is. So now your paintbrush is infused with your intention. It's going to carry your energy. So after you've done that, and after you've energetically cleared all of your items, you're going to go ahead and you're going to empower your gold glitter and place it in a separate container. You don't want to empower the whole thing, because you'll be probably using glitter for other things. So you don't want to do that. Take out the portion that you think that you want to use and put it in a little container. And then you can, if you want, you can either hold your hands around it, or if you have an atome, you can put your atome inside to charge it up and say, I charge thee with the energy of the Son, of our Divine Father, and ask that you grant your protection and strong, balancing, divine masculine energy to the victims of domestic violence. Thank you. And then you'll make your offering to the divine masculine. And then you can put your glitter to the side because you're going to use that later. Then you're going to, using your carving tool, which again you will turn into a wand in the same way that we did with the paintbrush. I charge thee, become a wand for me, and convey your intention, convey my intention-filled energy into this candle of mental and emotional stability for the victims of domestic violence. So it is. And so you can use, you know, whatever carving tool you happen to use. I like using bamboo. Goddess Star has something she's used for 20 years that's probably so powerful it probably writes all by itself, doesn't even need her help anymore. It's true. And so you're going to, after you've turned your carving tool into your wand, you're going to inscribe into the top of the candle, I charge thee with the energy of the moon, of the divine feminine, and ask that you heal the adverse situations of domestic violence victims and grant them your strong, balancing, divine feminine energy. And thank you. And then you'll make an offering to the divine feminine. Okay, so now, put this over here for a second. Using one of your empowered paint brushes, you're going to take some of your yellow paint and put it on your saucer or your bowl or your painting palette, whatever you're going to use, just the portion that you're going to use. You're going to put it out, and with your paintbrush, you're going to inscribe the symbol of Mercury into the paint before you start painting it. So if you look here,
That's
at
beautiful.
the yellow top here, this is the symbol of Mercury in yellow. And you're going to, before you paint it on, you're going to use your paintbrush to inscribe that symbol into the paint because you want to power up the paint and say, I charge thee with the energy of Mercury to grant mental clarity, stability, and easy resolutions to the victims of domestic violence. So it is. And of course, we make an offering to our brother Mercury. And then you're going to go ahead and paint the symbol. And I'll show it to you again. Let me hold it more to the camera.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. You paint that symbol on, and as you're painting it, I want you to think about your intentions to grant mental stability and clarity to the victims, and then you can sprinkle some of your empowered gold glitter on it. The next thing you want to do is you want to put the orange paint, and of course you'll have to, unless you have orange watercolor, you'll have to mix the red and the yellow together to get orange. So you'll go ahead and make that up. And then again, with your paintbrush, you're going to inscribe into the paint itself the round astrological symbol of the sun and say, I charge thee with the energy of the sun, our divine father, and ask that you grant your protection and your strong, balancing, divine masculine energy to the victims of domestic violence. And thank you, and you'll make your offering. And so underneath your Mercury symbol, now you're going to paint the sun symbol and glitter it up so that it's nice and pretty. And as you're painting it, go ahead and think about, again, think about your intention to provide protection and balance, because you've got your wand as your paintbrush, and it's conveying all of that energy into the paint and the candle as you do that. So next, on your palette or your saucer, you're going to mix your blue and green together, unless you happen to already have a nice aqua watercolor. If not, you can just mix blue and green. So after you've got it mixed up and you've got your nice, beautiful teal color, you can either use, depending if you want to use the Wiccan symbol for water, or if you want to use the astrological symbol. I typically use astrological symbols because I just love, you know, the planets and all, but you can use whatever you want. You can use both. So I did both. So I've got the wave, which is astrological for water, and the magic symbol for water on both sides. And as you mix it, you're going to go ahead and, as you're mixing the paints before you paint it on there, again, you're going to make your symbol of water into the paint and say, our dear sacred patron, element of water, you who rule the realm of emotions, we ask thee to grant emotional stability to all victims of domestic violence so that they may think clearly and find a way to remove themselves safely from their abusers. So it is, and of course, we go ahead and make our offering to the element of water. And then when you're all done with mixing everything up and painting your candle, you're just going to place your hands around your candle, and you're going to say, I call upon thee, our divine Mother Goddess, our divine Father God, our divine Brother Mercury, our divine Sister Water, to marry your energies with this candle and grant to all domestic violence victims emotional and mental balance and stability, no matter how much pressure they may be under. Let their minds remain free to think their way clearly out of this situation. Let their emotions stabilize so that they are no longer hampered by grief and fear of being abused. Reveal to them the way to safely escape this situation and live a life of freedom and happiness. We also give honor to the day of Saturn and ask, as always, dear brother, that you restrict the abusers from causing harm to anyone and restrict the damage done to the victims. And we make this offering to you with our gratitude. And we also honor and engage, excuse me, the hour of our dear brother Mars, you the god of war. Please assist us in our works in the war against domestic violence, as well as assisting and protecting the victims. Thank you, so it is. And now your candle is ready to rock and roll. And I have to tell you, after I made this candle, when I hold this candle, I feel actually clear. So after this, I'm actually going to make one of these for myself, just for the mental and emotional stability part of it. Because if you're like Goddess Star and I, you juggle a lot of things. And you're trying to get a million things done in a very limited amount of time, which can really get overwhelming, and it gets to be a lot, and you're trying to do so much. So I'm going to make one of these for me just to have the mental clarity and emotional stability to get all my stuff done. So I just wanted to add that in there.
That's awesome. It looks powerful. It looks beautiful. Oh, it is beautiful. Thank you. All right. My spell for you tonight for combating emotional abuse is twofold. And I want you to bear in mind that any spell, like Goddess Rhonda said earlier, any spell that you craft yourself or is in any way crafted with parts of what you want to have, or whether it's your deities or your offerings or whatever it is, they are the most powerful because they're based on your needs, because you alone know your needs. And they are crafted by you from the time you begin to say, I am going to do a spell. What do I need to start from that very beginning of that incense or whatever it is? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go through the spells similarly to Goddess Rhonda. I'm going to explain some things, and so you're not going to miss anything, but some of it I have explained before in the last video. And like the multicolor candle, and I want you to go ahead and place this candle again, like I said before with the last video. This candle is to be in the center for whatever it is that is needed in your lives at this time, in this very hour, just for you. And if you want to add your kids to it, if they are under that same pressure too, you can add that. And the colors, I don't know if you can see it, the colors are, and I will explain to you what the sigils are. The colors are red, white, blue, pink, green, yellow, and purple. And they all represent something. And I explained all of the representations. I went down all of that list for you in the last video. And it's also on our Facebook page, group page. And you'll go there and you can see all of it there. Again, this candle is for you to handle domestic violence in its entirety from the inside out, asking of it to do what it must for you wherever and whenever it sees fit. What or where it needs most, and this will be for your central candle throughout the wheel of the domestic violence that we're going to run through. So my suggestion for you is, no matter what other color candle you use with a carving or painting on or whatever it is, this will be the one that you'll use centrally to go through all of your different areas of your life. That's whether it's of the domestic wheel, whether it's the emotional, the intimidation, whatever it is. It will be taking care of all of that. And what I did this time with it, with this first candle, I made a new sigil and I placed it there. I'm not the best artist. I will place it up on the group page for you. And this sigil, the one on top, is for dealing with removing and healing of emotional abuse. So that's what it was created there. And again, I put the goddess Yamayar sigil beneath. Again, you can use whatever deity that you wish to use or work with. Okay. And so that's what's there. And on top, I already explained about the glitter as well before, but I did put the divine feminine and divine masculine with the silver and gold. And I represented the blue, green, and pink, all for healing, the water of emotional, dealing with emotions, and for healing as well. So all of those colors there represent all those things that I've mentioned. And um, the second part, I have to grab all of these things. The second part is the blue color candle that I chose. And again, this could be in any size that you choose, but of course the 7-day is best because you need it would be nice to go through the 7 days with it. And with this one, it is strictly for removal and healing of emotional abuse on your psyche, on your soul, on your mind, and on your bodies. And the items needed are very similar. Some of it is very similar to what we did in the last one. The only thing I've added is I added some pink carnations this time, and I'm using the molasses rather than the cane syrup this time, and um, and the blue candle. So everything else is pretty much the same. Um, so I mean, I can mention it here. A sheet of paper for your intention letter, um, which would be anything that you want the outcome of this to be. And one or two sheets of paper for creating your sigils, the new sigil that I will take you through really quickly. And you cut them into squares for whatever your needs are with it. Similar to this. This is the new sigil that I made.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is for healing and removal of emotional abuse. And I will place that up on the Facebook group for you. And what I did with the feeding on the bottom is I placed some iron filings first. Then I placed some molasses on the bottom. That's for the offering to the gods and goddesses. And 7 pennies, 7 copper pennies as an offering. Uh, Not just an offering, but for your wishes of what you want to outcome from this for you. So as I was doing it, because I'm doing it for you, as in general, I was thinking of all the things that could possibly be right and perfect for you. And in what I did was I did a general statement. I said healing and removing and healing of emotional abuse for all those that need it. Because you would, of course, do with those 7 wishes, you would do what's personal for you. Okay? Mine is a blanket general wish for you. And I did it 7 times, saying that same one over and over. You can say 7 different wishes, is up to you entirely. And then I lit some of the Yamaya and Peace and Protection incense, and I placed it in the bottom. And then I put the candle inside. The carving is, again, that new sigil for healing and removing emotional abuse. And I did the goddess Yamayar sigil on the bottom. And I said, please on the top right there. And on the bottom, I said, thank you, because it's always polite to say please and thank you whenever you're asking. Doing all of this, you'd be burning your incense because, of course, it goes from the time you begin that spell, when you burning that incense, it kind of sets the stage for what's to come, for all the things that you want to do on what one for this candle. And again, as you can hear, I'm still working with the goddess Yamayar as my choice. And of course, you can use and work with whatever deity that best calls to you. And I want you to first think of what you want from this spell when you write it down in great detail, already seeing the end result, seeing it as it already happened. And the blue candle, which represents to me the element of water, deals with emotions in its entirety for clarity and for finding inner peace, tranquility, serenity, patience, happiness, change, and healing. And as I said last time, this is a very personal thing. If you are going through this, no one would know best other than you, and those that are also going through this with you, what color works best for you here. But this is my suggestion for of using blue. Again, whatever calls to you, use that best. And the candle, your letter of intention, and the bowl that you're going to use to place the candle into should go through your incense smoke for purification. Okay? Your incense and your candlelight and all of that, you run it through it before using it and putting it into the bowl. And for the new sigil, I want you to create that removing and healing of emotional abuse. You can write it exactly as I wrote it and come up with the sigil I did, or you can create your own, wording it the way you want it to be said. And going back over what I've said before with going to our Facebook group, you will see how it's done. I will just quickly do a kind of showing you again. The one on top is for peace and protection. I don't know if you can see it.
Yes.
Okay, and then the one on the bottom is the Goddess Yamaya sigil, and that's on our Facebook group page. This is the new one, and it's done for their healing and removal of emotional abuse. And
Grace, there you go. That's it. Perfect.
okay, and that will be up on the Facebook page. The bottom part, or rather the right, this side here, where you see that cross kind of, that's to create more congeniality between everyone, or with not, maybe not the correct word, more to make everything flow more peaceably
Mm-hmm.
between everyone in the home so that there'd be no conflict, basically, or less conflict as the time goes by, because sometimes these things do not happen immediately. It takes time. So whatever it takes for you, if you have to keep doing it, then do so. And as always, like I mentioned to you, carving on the top and the bottom, please and thank you. That would be great. And the deity's name that you're petitioning for assistance. And always remember, we don't demand, we ask. Any one of the gods and goddesses or whomever you're calling on, we ask for their petition. We petition them and asking them nicely for their help. So as you can see, my candle is completed, and that was in the interest of time because we wanted to make sure that you got all of the explanations as you went along. And you would place, and I'm going to do this afterwards because the molasses jar that I have right now is the mouth of it is so wide that I'm afraid it's going to create a mess if I try to do it here. But so I'm going to leave that for afterwards to do it. But you would put the you would start with putting in the molasses. Then you would put in your lavender, which I have here. I will do all of that after so that I can do it in order. Then you add the mint and the basil leaves on top to cleanse and protect and bring peace to you and your family, followed by making that ring of sea salt around the base of the candle. Then add your spring water or your seawater. And last but not least, this time I wanted to give the goddess Yamaya one of her favorite wines. So I offered her white wine, and make sure that you sip it first before you pour it into the glass to give her as an offering. And you'll put that next to the bowl with the candle and all of that in there. All right. And that actually, in a way, keeps when the candle is inside of the bowl, it keeps it with all that water and everything. It will keep it from, I guess, burning or getting out of hand and combusting in any way, because sometimes it's hard to leave candles alone and if you don't put it in a bathtub or something like that. So this is a great way to keep it, because then the candle would be inside of the bowl like this. So that's great. And also, I forgot this one other part. The last thing on top of that water would be the nice pink carnations that I wanted you to place 7 pink carnations around the water. So that would be like a very nice topping. I will take a picture of it once I've done it and put it up for you to take a look at it. But I think it would be so beautiful. And what I did this time as well, I bought 14 carnations, 7 to do as an offering for the goddess Yamaya, and 7 more that I'm going to take and dry to use as part of an incense, a new incense I'm making for her as an offering. All right. So there is that spell in a nutshell. And I want you to, as I said, I chose the color blue. So I'm going to focus on the blue color for combating emotional abuse, for its representation of water and cleansing away all that does not serve your highest good. In its place, you feel all the things you would like to replace with it. Maybe peace, serenity, love, and absolute joy, that new hope for the future, for it to take care of you and yours in mind, body, and spirit. And when you light the candle, once you're holding the candle and you're ready to light it, as Goddess Rhonda and I will be doing it later on, you would say a prayer, or you can say anything from your heart that you feel that's best for you with this. But this is a prayer suggestion. Great Mother, you of infinite love and grace, I, your daughter, and you can name yourself or you can just leave it as your daughter, call upon you so that I may be healed in mind, body, and spirit. Thank you for your assistance that I can mentally overcome this emotional strain. Thank you for the hope and confidence of just being me again. Bless my body with restorative energy, lighten my stressful load, and calm my emotional pain. Thank you for bringing harmony to my body, mind, and spirit, ensuring that me and mine shall receive what is needed in the right time when it's so. In the name of the Lord and Lady in all your many names, I ask that this spell is done in a way that is correct for the good of all. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
And as the candle burns whenever you pass it by, I want you to smile and think of all the amazing changes coming into your life and say thank you to the deities. And I wish you all a blessed life.
That was just beautiful. And I
Thank you.
love pink carnations. They're just gorgeous.
Yeah, aren't they? I fell in love. I was like, I've got to create something with it.
All right, then let's go ahead and do our candle blessing.
Yes.
So if you have candles, you can go ahead and put your hands over them. I invoke and evoke, request and accept all of the wonderful, positive, powerful properties, gifts, blessings, and protections of our divine patron elements of earth, of air, of fire, of water, of wood, of metal, and of stone. And I ask you to safely marry your energies with us and our candles, and ask that you cleanse, strengthen, bless, and empower the ceremony, our candles, and ourselves, that we may be effective tools to rid the world of domestic violence and heal the damages that it has caused to all of us. Because if one of us is harmed, then all of us are harmed by it. And we seek to eradicate it from us in our realm forever and replace it with love, peace, balance, safety, prosperity, strength, and the protection from anyone ever being a victim of domestic violence. Again, thank you. And so it is.
So it is. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
I bless and consecrate thee as a magical tool to be used as a candle of enlightenment, to become the lance of sovereignty, the womb of the earth mother, to be the shield and protector of many, that thou shalt ever serve me and all those who have joined us here today, in truth, power, and wisdom. So mote it be.
So mote it be. We counter intimidation with courage, emotional abuse with nurture, isolation with positive support and resources, minimizing and denying the abuse and blaming the victim with the courage to admit wrongdoing and seek help, using children to threaten and control the victim. With safety, we ask healing for both the children and the victimized parent.
We counter abusers having an overinflated sense of authority by granting them the acceptance that everyone has rights, especially the right to a safe and peaceful home. Economic abuse with prosperity for the victim, as well as heightening their confidence in their abilities to provide for their children and themselves. Coercion and threats with kind words, support, and the willingness to compromise and please the victims. If you give me a second, I will get ready to light my. I've got to get my personal one like that too. That would help because
I
I'm
think
sitting
it's
here going,
Dollar
oh,
Tree.
the wind here is it's just so windy that I've had my candles lit near me and they keep going out. And I said I will have it ready this time, and it went out right before.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, come on. Let me get another one. Hold on. So sorry.
That's okay.
All right. Let's try this again. Ah, there we go. Oh, okay. Almost, right?
Yeah, we almost had it. That's okay.
I know the wind, I'm telling you, is ridiculous here. Let's try this one more time. I'm determined to get this, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna have to hand me that lighter through the Google Hangouts here, you know.
I can do that if you need me to. See, I just left and put my candle out, so we'll just light it
It's
again.
okay. I think you just did it. There we go. I got it.
Yay!
You did it. You sent it to me.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
So may it be, and so it is.
So it is.
Okay, I'm just going to put this over to the side.
Yeah.
Okay, so once again, we thank you again for your strength and convictions, and we offer blessings to those who want it. Always free will. Let's get a couple of, there we go. Okay, so for those who wish to accept these blessings, I unhook and release you from all of the cords and adverse energies that keep you from the prosperity, good health, and power that is your birthright, and send it all into the light to be healed and resolved as we are all healed from it, and restore your divine peace, strength, good health, prosperity, free will, and the optimum flow of divine balance energy. I make an offering to our Divine Mother, Goddess, our Divine Sister Moon, to bless the participants of this ceremony with new and continued blessings of prosperity, peace, and good health. I make an offering to the divine universal life forces to look upon and bless the participants of the ceremony who welcome your energy and blessings. I also make an offering to the gatekeepers of prosperity, of good health, and power, and ask that you open the gates to these gates to those who choose to honor and accept the safe and continuous flow of prosperity in real money, either physically or electronically, and the power we need to complete all of our missions successfully, effectively, and safely. And that was the infinity symbol that I made over the screen 3 times. And I also assign an etheric ankh over the participants who want it to constantly heal them through the ethers. And I call upon the divine energy of our brother and patron Saturn and the sacred element of earth to restrict the adverse energies affecting them and restore positive and fruitful lives, which are their birthright. Please accept my divine gratitude and blessings in return, and I make an offering to Saturn as well. Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful as usual.
Thank
And as usual, Goddess Rhonda has said all that is needed for you to have many blessings on this most auspicious day. But for these blessings to work for you all, you must focus on you, as it is not selfish for you to take care of you as well. It is needed actually in this particular ritual, more so. If you think of it as selfish, it will not work for you. You innately feel as if you do not deserve a financial success of any kind. That has been the downfall of many. So I want all the offerings of spells of prosperity and good health that Goddess Rhonda has offered you, may they all work for the good of all that she's given. And may the gods and goddesses bless you all and thank you all for your many energies. And I send this offering of the goddess Yamaya incense to you all for those who wish to accept it. Again, so mote it be.
so mote it be. Okay, thank you, everyone. And now what we're going to do is we're going to close out our circle.
Water, I thank you for all that you've given us and for empowering us with strength and courage and helping to wash away domestic violence. And we bid you farewell until we meet once more. So mote it be.
So mote it be. Fire, I thank you for all that you have given us and for empowering us with strength and courage and helping to burn away domestic violence. We bid you farewell until we meet once more. So mote it be.
So mote it be. Air, I thank you for all that you've given us and for empowering us with strength and courage and helping to blow away domestic violence. And we bid you farewell until we meet once more. So mote it be.
So mote it be. Earth, I thank you for all you have given us and for empowering us with strength and courage and grounding out domestic violence. We bid you farewell until we meet again. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
So we thank you all again. As always, we are so appreciative of you joining us and helping us in this project. I know a lot of people of you come after this live ceremony. It is never too late to prepare your candles, say a prayer, do anything. Even if you don't do a candle, if you just send some energy out or you just want to prepare the candle in your own way, anything that you do, and in whatever time that you do it is going to be of great help. So please, by all means, at any time, please continue to help us. And we thank you so much for your support. And we also ask you to join our Priestess View Facebook group. Goddess Star and I also have a show called The Priestess View that airs on Monday nights at 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, and 9 Central. And we talk about pagan issues and issues to help us as witches and warriors and so forth. But in the group, we are going to have all of our spells from all of our shows and the things that we do so that it's in one place so that you can see everything. So if you join our group, you'll be able to get the written instructions for the spell, and you'll be able to see pictures of our candles. We'll take pictures so that you can see the finished product so you know what your finished product should look like. So please join our group. And if you know of other pagans and witches and wizards and warriors, however you term yourself, light workers who might be interested in helping us out with this project, please share this project with them. Or if you think they'd be interested in a show that is geared for you, because it is geared for you. Everything that Goddess Star and I do is geared to empower and help you, because that's what we are about as priestesses. So please join us with our Priestess View show and our Priestess View show group. And of course, each week, as we continue to take on issues that plague all of us as a society. I thank you so much again, everyone, for joining us. And thank you, Goddess Star, of course, as always, for joining us with your awesome self.
Thank you, and thank you as well. And thank you all again behind Goddess Rhonda saying that. And merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Blessings to you all.
Absolutely. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Divine blessings to you. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye.